very first. He said no. It was the same thing what I had with Sandeep ji was a telephonic call one evening. And I do not know, we become lovers through that discussion itself, I think. And it kept on. Somehow we met today. As if we met, we had been known to each other for years. That was the feeling we go through. And that is the reason I think this man has become so successful in his career. If you look at his career, you can see how he has worked with some of the most valued companies in the world. And he had been the man behind the success story of their products in India. And today, when there is a new venture or a takeover things happen, he had been asked to take charge of that organization and to manage it. So we are extremely happy to hear from him, the man who has done all those things. Instead of me talking to you, let us know how he made it and what are his plans ahead. Welcome, sir. Please come.
Thank you, Mr. Dominic, for a nice introduction. And it's a privilege for me to stand here in front of your people who day in, day out breathe the agriculture kind of, operations. My first acquaintance with Mr. Dominic was in the month of January sometime. And I had a suggestion for him that you are doing such a wonderful job in agri area. Why don't you look at another sector which is equally important, which is animal agriculture. And that is how the whole journey started. We liked each other, our philosophies, our, the things in which we have the common interest, and that was the thing which brought us close to each other. I still keep telling him that animal agriculture is also a big segment and you should be part of that. I just want to first acknowledge the kind of stupendous progress what this company has done in the last 26 years under the leadership of Mr. Dominic. I think that really deserves the clap. So, as an individual to reach to these heights is very, very, very challenging, and you have proved that you are the most successful person, particularly in this space. I do not understand much about your initiatives, but I know for sure that you have a fantastic connect with the farming community. And that is where the things are very critical. In animal agriculture also, we also require the connect with the farmers. If farmers are there, we are there. If farmers are not there, we are not there. We are not required to be here. The initiatives like, the journalist coming out of the farming community, or the spreading the message through the tractor, where you are reaching to every farmer through the revolution of the mechanization. I think some of the great initiatives, and now what I heard, you are also looking at the richest people in the agriculture. My suggestion is that why don't you include animal agriculture also into that? So I can provide you the richest people in dairy industry, the richest people in the poultry industry, and richest people in the aqua industry. So I will contribute their names to you. You have your independent, judgment with a panel of judges on that. Select them, and then I want that to be a part of, not only agriculture, but a broader term of animal agriculture together with that. Okay. So that's my vision. Coming back to me and my career, I am a simple man. Spent 35 years in the same industry. I never changed my domain. Whether it is animal feeds, animal feed additives, whether it is therapeutics or the vaccines. I have completed almost all the areas of this industry, and being there, started my journey with Hindustan Liver in those days. It's called as Hindustan Unilever today. 14 years was with them. I started my career as an area manager, and I was in South and representing those districts and states where I had a common, discussions with Mr. Dominic. But over a period of time, Unilever 14 years, and then moved to the ProVivi, where I spent almost 12 years, and the company got acquired by Cargill. So that's the time I said, let me do something on my own. So I became entrepreneur at that point of time. And then 2 years of entrepreneurship, it didn't work out. Then I said, let me go back to my professional life where I know the things very well. and then Sanofi was acquired by the Boehringer Ingelheim. So almost the last 20 years I have been managing director in these 3-4 companies which I have said just now. The thing is that my job is today has become only acquiring companies, harmonizing them, make their one culture, and then take the best out of it. That's the job which is there in front of me today, but I don't love that job. Because a very hard decision I have to take sometimes in this particular career of the people. But nevertheless, I think I know what is required to be with the sales, and that is what I breathe every day. So now, as a part of sales team, I have been traveling in the North India. I was there yesterday in Chandigarh and surrounding, Punjab and Haryana places. So this is what I love in my life. Coming to my family, I have a wife and a daughter. She has been finished her education from good institutes in the world and now working with Bibles today. And my wife was also professor in veterinary college in Mumbai. She has left her career and become a housewife because either of us has to make a career. And she was so kind enough to sacrifice her career and gave me the opportunity to continue like that. So that is about me. Coming to Noveltech as a company, I don't know whether you know the private equity. Anybody knows what is private equity? No. Okay, private equity is the institute which finances the companies. When we require a housing loan, we go to the bankers. Like that, the company goes to the private equity people or the investment bankers. And that is where I work for. So this company is called as Goldman Sachs, and they have invested in India, in the feed industry. That asset is being managed by me as a managing director. The name of the asset is Noveltech, which you can see, and we are engaged in the manufacturing and distribution and sales of the poultry feeds today in India. The poultry feed means is a feed for the broilers, which are basically a meat purpose bird, and feed for the layers, which is basically egg purpose. So that is what we do currently. We have pan-India presence. We have presence in almost 29 states, 28 states and a couple of union territories. And we also work like you at the district level. The only difference between us is that it is almost commercialized. We call it as integration, where the people who started this journey, I'll just brief you what is the integration. The people who started this journey with the hatchery. Hatchery is the place where the parent bird's eggs are put, and then the day-old chicks are taken out of that. And those day-old chicks are given to the farmers for the further propagation. So in case of broiler, they rear it almost for 35 to 40 days, and then 2 kg of the bird is ready in 35-40 days. And that bird we eat as a chicken, which is a broiler chicken, which is a broiler meat. So this is one part of our business. Second is in the layers, where the lifespan of this bird is slightly longer. They are almost around 72 weeks to 100 weeks, and in that period they lay around 340 to around 400 eggs in their lifespan, and that is what we eat as a table egg. So this is in the industry in which I am, and looking forward to get expansion in the area of dairy cattle and aqua in the future. So these are my ambitious plans of diversifying into the various species of animal agriculture, and I am sure India is at very nascent stage. There is enough for everyone to have the space, and then the growth can be a phenomenon, and I am counting on that. As the growth of India happens, and the young generation will require protein, and that protein will come from only broiler and layers. I think these are the cheapest source of the protein for the young generation. With 65% of the population below 35 years of age will definitely require a lot of protein, and that is the thesis on which we are working right now. And I am sure that India will grow leaps and bounds in the coming years in this particular segment. And Mr. Dominic, you should not be behind So therefore, my suggestion is to catch up with this animal agriculture also, to have the complete overall picture of agri and animal agriculture. So with that, I will just stop here and I'll ask if someone has any questions. I will be very happy to answer them. Yes.
So in what ways do you want to see the farming sector industry in the next 10 years? Like what kind of growth do you expect?
Okay, so let us take a couple of pieces first. If you talk about the broiler industry, almost 70% of the broiler industry is integrated today. That means the person who has the hatchery, who has the parent stock, who are having the day old chicks, giving it to the farmers on to grow the contract farming, take the produce out of it at the end and sell it in the open market as a processed chicken or as a wet marketing of the birds, live birds selling. So in this segment, almost 70% of the integration has happened. I feel in next 10 years in this broiler segment, it will reach to around 80-85%. After that, it will be impossible because India is a very huge country and reaching out in nook and corner of this country is very difficult. So there will be certain pockets which will remain like that in the country, and with 85-90% of integration, the broiler industry will grow. Coming to the layers is a non-integrated industry where the farmers are, when I started my career, there used to be the layer farms of 5,000, 10,000 birds. Today, the minimum requirement is 1 lakh bird. Below 1 lakh bird, it is not economically viable. So that will go. Today in India, the highest person who is having the layer number of birds is around 60 lakhs birds. So 6 million birds are there in one farm. So that growth will happen, but in layers, instead of selling the table eggs, which we eat every day, the value-added products like the liquid eggs or the egg powder, which is not there a concept in India because we freshly open the egg and make the cake out of it and all that. But it has been the journey in the foreign countries, and India will not be the exception for that. And I feel that it will happen in India in next 5 to 10 years. So that is our plans. Coming to the dairy industry, I feel that dairy industry has a huge potential. India is the largest milk producer in the world. I don't know whether you know that 220 million metric tons of milk is produced in this country. That makes us number 1 in the world. This industry is growing at a rate of around 8 to 10% at CAGR, and it will continue to grow at that rate. So milk byproducts like liquid milk, the byproducts like flavored milk, or which is a new segment which is created recently. But in olden days, the halwai sweets, khoa and burfi and all those sweets were being eaten away. But today, because of the people are becoming more health conscious and all that, I think the other forms of the milk byproducts will be traded. People used to eat ghee. Today they are saying it's a saturated fat, don't eat, otherwise your cholesterol will go up. But these are all there are some truth and some of the myths. So I think with whatever that level of education and extension activity we can reach in the dairy industry, India will continue to have dominance of producing the largest milk producer in the world, and it will grow at a rate of 8 to 10% CAGR year on year. Coming to aqua, I think aqua I have less acquaintance. Way back in 92 to 95, I used to work in aqua, particularly in the shrimp industry. Aqua has 2 parts. One is a shrimp, which is a prawn. That also has 2 parts again. One is a natural catch, which comes from the sea, which is a Phineas indicus, and other class is cultured prawns, which is grown in aquaculture inland growing. And the second segment is the fish, which is rohu, katla, mrugal. Many Bengalis they eat rohu and all that. It's an inland fishery which will also rapidly grow. I think fishery is also growing at a rate of 5 to 7% year on year. And with all that, if I take composite of poultry, broiler, layer, dairy, aqua in fish and aqua in shrimp, all put together, industry will grow at around 7 to 8% CAGR in next 10 years. And we will be the part of that growth. And every young people, I can see the average age, I was told, is around 23 years here in this organization. So you must be eating a lot of non-veg. And all that non-veg comes from us. Whether it is the milk, people say that it is not non-veg. People say egg is also not non-veg. And I strongly believe that because both are non-fertile and therefore you can eat as much as what you can. So you, young generation, will be our growth engines for tomorrow. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. It was fantastic.
Fine. So I think please look into the suggestion what I made, and there is a huge opportunity in this segment as well. So we can do it together.
Okay.
Thank you very much for being here or here to have some kind of conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir.